Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aligned Singer. I am so freaking excited about what I'm about to teach you today. This can be a game changer anytime you start to feel fear or you're like, oh God, I want to stay small. When you start to have a new dream come up in your singing life, in your singing career, in your singing pursuits, and all of those the flood of negative voices. I mean, anybody like me, the chorus of like, I can't do it. I've never done anything like that before. All those thoughts start pouring in. This tool is going to change the game for you, my friend. I am so excited to teach you this. But before I do, I had better introduce myself. Let me tell you who I am if you've never met me before. My name is Sarah Hockey. I'm a professional classical soprano. I'm a voice teacher with an expertise in teaching vocal technique, helping singers with their technique and rebuild their voices into something that's dreamy. And I'm your bel canto bestie, here to help you go from wherever you are now in your voice, in your singing pursuits, in your dreams, help you connect the dots from wherever you are now to wherever you want to be. And I'm so excited to share this with you today because, as I mentioned, if we're similar, when we reach for something that's outside of our current comfort zone, there can be a lot of negative voices that come up and our nervous system can start to react, our body can start to react. We can even start to create chaos in our lives. And then years later, we realize, that was probably because I was wanting something new in my creativity. Oh my gosh. Before I teach you this exercise, it's a freaking game changer. I'm so excited for you to do it. I mean, wow. I want to give credit where credit is due. I did not invent this myself. I actually learned this from my creativity coaches. Last year, I did a creativity coaching program for 6 months, and they took me through this exercise twice, once in a day-long workshop and once in that 6-month program, and I have found it to be incredibly helpful. It's called building an evidence file. So those of us artists reaching for our dreams that do feel fear come up, trepidation come up, negative thoughts in our head come up, negative self-talk, I could go on and on. I've heard it all in my own head. I really have. We need something called an evidence file to help us have evidence of the things that we've done before in our lives, in our creative pursuits, in our creative careers, to have that evidence at our fingertips to go, wait a second. There is evidence to back up that I can follow through with this dream. Oh my God, I'm so excited to teach you this. So, an evidence file is something we build. I'll be honest with you, mine is written on a piece of paper, but after this episode, my accountability for you is to transfer it into my notes app in my phone because I need to pull this thing up more. This came about based on conversations that I've had with friends who are wanting to create new things in their lives and careers, especially their careers. And I recommended this to them. This big, awesome conversation happened a few months ago with a friend of mine that I'm in a little group with, and I taught her this exercise and she voice noted me and she was like, Sarah, that was so incredibly helpful. What you shared with me is gold. Thank you so much. And I was like, wow. Oh, okay. I thought, oh, wow. I was just really taken aback at how much it was helpful for her. And of course, when I was taught this, it was very, very helpful for me as well. So I'm so excited to share it with you today. I'm going to grab my outline because I actually wrote out some different prompts to help you understand what an evidence file is. So one of the things that I want to say before I dive into these prompts is an evidence file we do something similar to this in therapy. I work with a therapist. I've done something called EMDR since 2021 for past very hard times in my life. It helps you sort of reprogram all those hard experiences. I mean, if you listen to the first episode of this podcast, it'd probably be obvious why I need extra support with that. Honestly, everybody needs it. Everybody's, maybe not EMDR, but everybody needs that outside set of ears to share with. I sure hope you have it. Look into it if not. So it reminds me of an exercise that I had to do in the beginning of my journey with my current therapist called resourcing. So before I went into EMDR, which is where I go back and find experiences that were very disturbing to me, very upsetting, and continue to kind of hold me back, or like kind of like this, like don't be so visible, don't dream so big. A lot of that connects back to those negative experiences, especially those early years. Of course, going back to my upbringing, but most especially some of the things that happened, as I described in the first episode of The Aligned Singer, when for 6 years, I moved to New York with pretty significant vocal damage, had to heal it on my own, figure out how to live in a city, etc. You can go back to the first episode if you want to hear the whole story. Anyways, what I'm sharing with you is even in that process with a licensed therapist who's highly trained in this, I have to do something called resourcing, which is a lot like an evidence file. I realized that as I was preparing for this episode, oh my gosh, I've had to do it in that behind the scenes part of my inner life as well. In my career, an evidence file points to different parts, different pieces and points in your life where you have evidence that you are capable, and you are able of accomplishing whatever it is that's on your heart. So, this is so much fun to teach you. This is, my notes say, frame it as support when things feel out of reach. So what I want to say is the times that I've needed to go back to my evidence file are times like I'm going through one currently right now. I have big dreams for the Aligned Singer. I have big dreams as a voice teacher and big dreams as a classical soprano. Bigger, I've finally admitted how big they are. And they're bigger than what they used to be on any vision board or manifestation list. And part of me is like, oh, no. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that. I've never done it before. I've never done several albums before. I've never done XYZ in voice teaching and created for you. That's true. I've never done it before. But I have done other things that were hard, other things that challenged me, other things that it took growth to be able to accomplish. So I think of it like a circle, and I'm wanting to expand that circle. So I'm reaching outside of my comfort zone into a bigger circle, into my career. I'm literally talking about my life right now. And I'm sure you have the same thing happening. Even if you're sort of like happy with where you are in your singing, doesn't there always seem to be, oh my gosh, there's another project. That's the nature of creativity. It's the nature of singing. It's the nature of music. We want to continue to engage in this thing that we love so much and are devoted to it our entire lives. So it's normal for that circle to want to expand. It does not come from a place of scarcity. It doesn't come from a place of like a not enoughness. No. This is a natural and beautiful process of creativity. We get to continue to create more our entire lives and careers. So when you are asking for more from the greater forces out there, I always say universe, from the universe, when you're asking for more from yourself, to be called forth, the evidence file is something to go back to help ground you in your capability. Because if you're anything like me and the other people that were in my creativity coaching program, because we all loved this exercise, we need it when we're about to create something new. I want to say for a moment that something I learned from the memoir by Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic, it's on my bookshelf literally right here next to me. Big Magic. I'm going to grab it for you. Those of you watching will see it. It's a gorgeous cover. Those of you listening can look deeply into your earbuds or your headphones. I'll flip the pages for you in the microphone. It's called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I love this memoir. I'm going to leave it out because I think I need to read it again right now. Wait for a podcast episode on this one. It was an amazing book. I've read it maybe 3 times, and then sections of it more. Elizabeth Gilbert talks about creativity and fear, and she and many other wise people that have done books, articles, podcasts, etc. on this share that when we are reaching for something greater in our creative life, you want to paint a painting, you want to make your first album. That's something I'm going through literally right now. You want to start putting your voice out there into the world. Maybe it's putting it out there online. Maybe it's auditioning more. When you're reaching for those things, what Elizabeth Gilbert calls grandfather fear will come up, because this is a very old part of the brain and your amygdala. It's a fear part of your brain. I'll put Big Magic away for now. I'll close it for those of you just listening. 3, 2, 1. There you go. I hope that wasn't too loud. But if you're just watching through your imagination and your earbuds, I wanted you to have that moment. So we'll put that to the side. But what Elizabeth Gilbert teaches in Big Magic that applies to what I learned with this evidence file exercise I'm about to take you through is that fear is a very old part of us. The thing is, we've evolved so much, and in modern life, we have so many incredible abundances. I just made that word up for you. Like running water, flushing toilets, heat, like walls. Are you kidding me? Like kings and queens didn't even have, a bathroom with running water and all the things that go with that. Not that long ago, a couple 100 years ago. So we have the modern conveniences of modern life that we hope will help free us up to be more creative. And I know there's a lot of other stuff that goes with this, but I mean, the fact that you're able to make recordings and things like this and share it with the world now, there were no recordings before the turn of the 19th to 20th century. This is all amazing. The fact that we can record ourselves and share, the fact that I can share with you in this medium right now, this is a freaking miracle. This is abundanceness at its most abundanceness. Okay? Now I made up a lot of words for you just to make you laugh. So what we hope is that we're able to be free to create. But the thing is, our brains have not evolved to realize. I really love teaching you this right now. Wow. I didn't expect to talk so much about the Big Magic thing in the outline. It's not in there as much, but this is really important to understand, because this is why having your evidence file is essential. This is a non-negotiable for you. Everybody who listens to and or watches or experiences this episode, you need to screenshot that evidence file in your notes app in your phone and send it to me, or on a piece of paper. I do recommend you carry it around in your phone though, because you're never gonna know when you get the spike of fear. The reason that fear is there is because it kept us safe. You've probably heard this before. If you're into personal development like I am, to help you elevate your career, like I'm crazy into it. What your brain does is snaps back to this really old fear thing. Like, what? That I've never done that before. It's probably gonna kill me. I'm so scared. There is a part of your brain that's job is to keep you alive. Thank God that it does. Elizabeth Gilbert talks about it in the book. It helps you not step into oncoming traffic. Like if something actually is unsafe, like if you drive and you've ever needed to be like, whoa, and slam on the brakes, thank you. Thank you, fear response. It helps you act really fast, and it protects you in those types of not daily, but normal is what I mean to say, that situations that come up in normal life, daily life. So the thing is, our brain has not yet evolved to be at the place where our brain can distinguish the difference between actual life-threatening events and creative risk. This is very important for you to understand because it is universal and completely healthy and completely normal to have a fear response when you want to widen your circle with your opportunities. It is totally normal. It is universal, and it is literally the way we are built. Our brains are built to have a fear response when you're wanting to expand that, because your brain just doesn't understand the difference between a creative risk, an artistic risk, a healthy risk in your career. I used to call it, and I'll call it again, the capital R risk, this healthy risk that we want to take in our artistic lives. It doesn't understand the difference between that and literal lowercase r risk of like, I need to XYZ not step into traffic right now. And that's why the evidence file is so important, because we need to give ourselves extra scaffolding around going for big dreams in our singing life because of this. I'm getting so pumped while I talk about this. This is up there as one of my favorite episodes already, because I know it's really, 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 really going to help you. Let's go through the exercise of evidence file. I'm giving you an abbreviated version because unfortunately I don't have a recording of those moments that I had with my coaches, so I can't remember all of their prompts, but I do remember that the prompts were very general. Not general, but they reached back into places of my life that I would never have included on my own had I thought of this exercise on my own. In an evidence file, we want to include high achievements and accolades, but we also want to include kind of normal achievements as well. So here are your prompts. I'm going to give these to you. There's going to be a transcript for this edition of the Aligned Singer. You can go back to that. You can go back and play this and pause it and write down your answers, voice note your answers. Interestingly, for this exercise, I want it to be very handy for you. So I usually tell you to use, I'll reach over my desk as I always do, gel pens and paper. You know I love me some gel pens. I really do journal with gel pens. But honestly, unless you're really wanting to do this in like a morning pages or a morning journaling situation or evening journaling situation, I would encourage you to go quick with this one because you need it fast. So I would encourage you to voice note it, copy and paste the transcript into your notes app, or just write these answers in your notes app right away. And the way we were led through this exercise is really fun. If I ever get to teach a workshop or something and this comes up, we will do it like this, but we set a timer for 2 minutes. I believe it was 2 minutes, and sprinted to do this exercise and write as many things as we could find. So the first thing I want to say is I want you to think about a lot of different areas of your life, not necessarily your singing career. Yes, I want you to include that. I definitely want that in there, and you do too, because probably the goals you're reaching for are mostly related to your singing career. But I want you to reach into your personal life, your healing journey, your growth. If you have worked on yourself, if you have had a personal growth journey like me, that's a very important and rewarding place to reach into for your evidence file. Your creative life does not have to mean your career. It can also mean your hobbies. Like this necklace, you can look deeply into your earbuds or headphones if you're listening, but I have a really beautiful necklace on, if I do say so myself, and I made this myself. I made the silver, so it could be achievements in your creative life. It could be things like if you have hobbies, stuff like that. Gardening, I love gardening. Maybe you do too. Your relationships, so improving your relationships with friends, building wonderful intimate relationships with family members, friends. If you're married, we want to or in a partnership, I should say, not just married, but any relationships that you have that are intimate around you, we want to think of that area. We want to think about normal life skills. Some of my questions that I'll prompt you with are normal life skills, like adulting. Your singing, your artistry, your career, if you're in your career for singing now. And that's it. So I'm going to give you some prompts, and I'll read the ones that I wrote down, and then I will riff. Have you ever moved to a new city and figured out how to live there? Have you ever, I'm already riffing. Have you ever gone from living with your family to roommates to living alone and figured out how to do that? Have you ever cared for a child? Have you ever birthed a child? Have you ever birthed a child? I want that on the top of your list. I'm very emotional because one of my closest friends is having a child, and I'm like, what you're doing right now is the most incredible thing a person can ever do. Oh my gosh. So if you've ever given birth to a human, it better go there. If you've ever supported someone giving birth to a human, like you're a co-parent or something like that, have you ever raised a human? Put it on the top of your list. This is one of the most creative acts you could this is the most creative act you could do. Sorry to get so pumped. I'm just very close to that endeavor right now with my close friend. Have you ever cared for a pet? Have you ever cared for a child in the capacity of a guardian or a babysitter or something like this? This goes in your evidence file. Pets go in your evidence file. Have you ever, I bet you have you ever learned a song and been able to sing it from memory? I bet you have. If you are the singer embodiment of aligned singer, I'm almost positive you have memorized a song and performed from memory, even if it's just a part of the song. That is an achievement. I want you to try and count how many you've done. I bet you can't. That is an achievement. Memorized countless songs. If you're an actor, memorized countless numbers of lines. Memorized countless monologues. I want you to phrase it like that. That is how I think of you and your accomplishment. Memorized an entire role from entire show. This is a big deal. It goes in your evidence file. You see how pumped I am? I'm so happy. Have you ever performed in front of other people? It could be in person, it could be online. Putting yourself out there is a big deal. Very few people on the planet get up and speak in front of people. I didn't say it had to be paid. I did not say it had to be paid. It can be karaoke, and it can be getting up in front of a room and talking in front of people. Those are achievements. And then if you have done it at a pro level or semi-pro or whatever, write it down. Write it down right now. Sorry for hitting my chair. I'm getting so excited. Because I know you've done all of these things. Maybe not the parenting one, but the other ones. Have you ever followed through on a project? Maybe it's finishing an essay. I bet you we've all done that because we've all gone to school. Have you ever finished a creative project? Like I told you before, my piece of jewelry. This counts as on my evidence file. Have you ever finished some kind of goal? Maybe it was a health goal. Maybe you're tracking your steps. I have a close friend who tracks his steps, and he really watches. Did I get to my 10,000 steps a day? Have you ever followed through with that? Like said, for 7 days, I want to do yoga every morning, or for 7 days, I want to meditate every day, and done it. That goes in your evidence file, my friend. That counts. Have you ever, oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited. Have you ever finished something creative? Maybe you've not just finished an essay, but maybe it's a book, maybe it's a recording, maybe it's preparing a recital and performed it in front of an audience, something like that. It can be creative in any way. Maybe you wanted to grow. I'm a big gardener, so I think of gardens, and that's in my evidence file. Maybe you built a garden of some kind. That goes in your evidence file. Have you ever won an award? Have you ever won a scholarship? And I want you to go all the way back. I'm from the Midwest originally, so I know what 4-H is. It's a farming awards. Was it a 4-H award? Was it a Scouts badge? Did you become an Eagle Scout? Something like that. You can go all the way back into your childhood and think of what awards did I get? Did you ever get perfect attendance in school? That's one I never got. Have you ever gotten an award or recognition for athletics, for your creativity? Most likely so. Any kind of award. And if you, like me, are a professional singer and you have accolades, this would be an appropriate place to put those if you've ever won scholarships, if you've ever won competitions, if you've ever placed in a competition, it goes there. If you've been runner-up, it goes in your evidence file. If you've ever won a grant, I'm the lucky, grateful recipient of many grants for my artistry and for my voice teaching. Those go in the evidence file. Scholarships that you got for schooling or after schooling, those go in your evidence file. It's funny, I just thought of a whole bunch more that I won. These scholarships, it's just so long ago. Sometimes we forget about this stuff. Those have to go in my evidence file. Have you ever won recognition? Like, I don't know, it could be first place in the science fair. It could be anything like that. It does not have to be directly related to your singing opportunities. It can be in any part of life. It goes in your evidence file. That's not a bunch of hogwash, my friend. It goes, I'm telling you, when you reread this, you need to put it in there. It doesn't just not count because it was a long time ago. Have you ever walked through a hard season of your life and kept going? This one makes me want to cry. Have you ever faced, I cry in every episode. Have you ever faced an illness? Have you ever faced vocal trouble like I did and overcome it? My God, I don't even know if that's in my evidence file, but it has to be. I need to go put that in there tonight. Have you ever done that? That, my friend, is a big freaking deal. A big deal. Have you had some kind of diagnosis that you were able to heal from? Are you a survivor of something that needs to be in your evidence file? Have you experienced a loss and been able to work through it? That goes in your evidence file. Healing from breakups goes in your evidence file. Healing, if God forbid you had to face divorce, goes in your evidence file. This is all evidence that you are, again, capable of growing past the place where you are now. Massive. What I just listed just then, that is massive evidence, and I do not think we place enough importance on it in the performing arts because it's like, oh, hush, hush behind the scenes. No. If you've healed from an injury, if you heal, any dancers go through this all the time. It goes in your evidence file. I have 2 more for you. I'm so excited. Have you remembered someone on your birthday? I said your birthday. Have you ever remembered someone? I can't talk because I'm so excited. On their birthday. Have you called someone on a holiday? Those things go in your evidence file, especially for somebody like me. I'm a millennial. That's a lot harder for me to do than like my grandma, that generation. It goes in your evidence file because why? It means you're a caring, kind person. Have you ever had a breakthrough? A breakthrough could be, I see these in voice lessons all the time, and usually, especially if they're really big ones, I start to cry. It's kind of embarrassing. I have an emotion fan that I keep at the piano in my studio because I have to like keep myself from really having a breakdown in front of a student. But yeah, have you ever had a breakthrough in your vocal technique where there was something that was really squirrely and you just couldn't do it and now you can? That goes in your evidence file. Have you had a breakthrough in, let's say you have gone to therapy or you have done personal development work, even self-paced type personal development work? That goes big time in your evidence file. Have you ever had this is the one that wasn't on my list, but I want to say, have you ever improved, remember when I was talking about relationships? Have you ever improved a relationship in your life? Maybe it's a close friendship. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's a relationship with a family member that you're close to. Something like that. If you're in partnership, whether you're partnered or you're married, whatever shape your partnership takes, have you ever improved your relationship with that romantic partner? Those things are that's big stuff, and that goes in your evidence file. Other things could be achievements in the behind the scenes life. Have you ever saved, I want to save whatever for whatever and done it, meaning financially? Anything like that, that all belongs in your, have you ever, let's take Big Magic back out. I'll flip the pages for those of you who are looking deeply into, I wonder if you can hear that, deeply into your headphones and earbuds. Have you ever finished a book? please put that in your evidence file, especially in this day and age. Reading paper books is a lot harder than it used to be, I think, for us in general. Certainly, I'll speak for myself. It's harder for me. Have you finished a book recently? Please put that in your evidence file. That all belongs. That all belongs. So, I know that was a long list of questions, and I bet your answer was yes to almost all of those. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose because the evidence that you are capable of growth, that you are capable of going beyond where you are now, even when that fear amygdala response comes up in your life, is very strong. It's, in fact, overwhelming evidence. If you put your evidence file in front of a neutral party and said, hey, neutral party, based on, we did something like this, now I'm remembering in the workshop that I did a long time ago with my creativity coaches, it was like, if you look at that and you didn't know the person that it was about, would you say this person is afraid because they want to reach for XYZ dream or goal in their performing life, and they feel really scared they're not going to be able to achieve it? Based on XYZ, have you learned to drive? This is a big deal, my friend. Don't discredit it just because it was a long time ago. You know what I mean? This stuff counts. I'm not being Pollyanna. I'm being very serious. You need to remind yourself that you are capable of growth. You are capable of growth beyond what you even recognize. Whew, I'm so pumped for you. I lost my train of thought because I thought of the driving example. Let me get back on my choo-choo train of thought. We need the scaffolding and support around us to remind us, especially, I know what I was saying, I'm back on track. If you were looking at this evidence file and you didn't know who it was about, I think your answer for could you accomplish fill in the blank in your life would be a resounding, overwhelming yes. You are capable. Now you have proof. Remember what I said, it's natural and should be expected for you to have reactions when you want to reach for something greater in your life. As I told you at the beginning of our time together today, I am currently doing that in my life as a voice teacher and a classical soprano. So that's literally, I'm also making my garden bigger. So that's everything. That's everything in my life. Pretty much. Of course, in personal growth too, always. I'm always reaching for something, a greater level of healing. So if you are like me, and I know that you are, real feelings come up. For me, it's real feelings of like, whew, I have to take a lot better care of myself than usual right now during this season because of my dreams. I admitted that they're bigger than what I used to admit, and I want to be ready to take action on those. So all of this is doing this for you. It is helping that old ancient part of your brain calm it. It's calming that part of you. That part of you belongs. Remember what I said, we need that part of us for survival, but we don't need that part of us to take the driver's seat. We have to let fear be at the table. We've got to let it ride, but it needs to ride in the back seat. That's what she says in Big Magic. And I can remember it off the top of my head because it had such a big impact on me. So don't ever expect that those feelings are going to be completely gone. I've only met one artist in my whole life who does not have any feelings of self-doubt. And the reason he doesn't is because he had an extraordinary near-death experience, I'm going to be honest with you. And it changed the way his brain works. So he's an exceptional man. I think he's amazing. I don't know him very well, but I hope I get to. So it's normal for all the rest of us to have those fear responses when we are really going for it. And now you have an evidence file to back you up that you really are capable. The overwhelming, resounding answer to can you achieve XYZ is yes, you are capable of it. because of all those things in your evidence file. Listen, I would love to hear from you. If this was powerful for you as it was for me, what would be so cool is if you screenshotted the notes app in your phone or wherever you wrote this down. Just take a screenshot. It doesn't have to be the whole thing if you don't want it to be. Send it to me. I'm happy to be your accountability. Bounce it off of me. I read and respond to every email that I get, my Voice Studio email, every single DM that I get. I'm currently on TikTok and Instagram or my social media platforms. You can find me at Voice Teacher Sarah. I love that nickname handle. I love it. I read and respond to everything. I'm really serious about supporting you, and I love, love, love connecting with you and hearing from you. So when you do write to me, it's really exciting. And if you want to email me, I read and respond to every email you send. We are undergoing a big transformation. Luckily, I didn't need to use my evidence file. Maybe I do need to use my evidence file for this because writing it is the big task that I'm like, eek. Oh my gosh, Mom. So yeah, I use my evidence file for a lot of things. Gardening, writing this new website. Anywho, singing, obviously. You can Google Sarah Hockey Voice Teacher and you will find my current website. As soon as the new website is live, I'll just tell you the domain. And that's where you can find me. I just wanted to remind you before I let you go today that you're the only person that has your gift and your voice. You're the only person in the entirety of time. Nobody's going to have your sound. Nobody's going to have your voice, your gift, your unique set of the things that you believe in, the stories that you want to tell, the projects, the causes that you want to give voice to through your artistry, your passion for whatever repertoire you're passionate about. Nobody is quite like you. And so guess what? We really need you to lean on your evidence file so that you can put your dreams into play. You can put your dreams out there and put yourself out there because we really need your voice. We really need your gift. We really need your talent. I am not saying that just to say it. I'm saying it because I freaking mean it. Anyways, I'm so proud of you for doing this evidence file work. So proud of you for expanding your capacity for what you are doing in your singing life. I will leave it there for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me for this time. It means, I'm gonna cry. It means so much to me to spend this time with you. I just feel like we're together having a cup of tea. So let me grab mine and say, I really believe in you. I really do. I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna let you go. Bye. Have a great day, and I believe in you. You've got this. Bye for now.